guys! Whoa! All right, welcome back. So, missed last week because I was waiting for all the frames to come in. Still one short. I'll give you guys a quick update. Won't waste your time. The Pirate Punch came in, and the 533 flip switch also came in. I haven't received the Vanny V2 Pro, but I think what is happening there is it is pre-order. So what we're going to do is I'm going to continue moving forward without the V2 Pro. I'm going to use the V1. And then if it comes in time prior to me testing the V1, then I'll go ahead and insert it and I'll pull the V1 out. So we'll get a full test. If not, the V1's going all the way through to the final or wherever it decides to break between then and now. So with that, what I'd like you all to do is in the comments, go ahead and start listing out the frames you want to see compete against each other. So I'm going to do 2 frames a week, again, one-on-one, head-on-head, or head-to-head, and then ultimately combine them and then get down to like 2 frames, and then I'm just going to beat the crap out of them until one of them finally explodes. But all the frames will go through every single test until it breaks. So if one doesn't break and the next one does break, I'm still going to run it through that test no matter what. So I want to give a quick shout out also to Fly Tribe Magazine. If you guys haven't signed up for this, you need to. This is pretty awesome. This is like Trans World and Thrasher, the skate mags back in the day. But oh boy, Choo! Fly Tribe Magazine. I got the cool shirt. This is the new hotness. Who's that? Trilly. And then who do we have on the front? FPV with Patrick on the front. So pretty dope episode, or pretty dope magazine. Check it out, subscribe, it's worth it, do it. Straight into it. So last week, I'm gonna get this all set up real fast. Or 2 weeks ago, I weighed the Bach grinder and I had left out the motor screws. So I went ahead and pressed those, or put the press nuts in there. And now I understand why they left them out like that. It's because if you choose to do a 20 millimeter or 30 millimeter, you have the option to put the press nuts wherever you prefer based on your flight stack. I went ahead and put them in the 30 millimeter or 30 by 30 because that is where or the stack size I'll be mounting into this frame. So I also had a request, multiple requests, to reweigh all the frames without TPU or the straps or any of that stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and run through quickly all the weights of the frames right now. So the Bach grinder dry, no TPU and no battery strap, we're looking at 174 grams, 174 grams. Next, Volador 2, throw him on there, took all the TPU off that I could. I'm not gonna take the TPU off that I bolted down. That's just gonna take too long. So the Volador with the prop or the arm guards gone, you're looking at 176 grams. They're pretty light, not bad. The oily rig, throwing the oily rig again, I ripped off the TPU, so now it's clean, slick. 184, so 184 grams on the oily rig. The Apex, clean. Apex is coming in at 144 grams, so 144. The V1, Vanny V1, sorry, Vanover. Give me that V2, bro, and I'll throw it in here. Just saying. So the V1, super light, coming in at 124 grams, so 124. And then the tank, let's throw the tank on there. Beefy, 189, so 189 grams for the tank, and it actually feels heavy. That thing's, oh shit, just shook the bench. And then the AOS 5 V5, throwing it on, it's 164, so 164 or 164 grams. And then we have the Superfly Syncmode, which I went ahead and assembled it. As you guys can clearly see here, went together pretty easily. I think I spent about 10 or 15 minutes putting it all together. Not a bad frame. It feels light, it feels strong. There are some things I'm worried about, but the testing will proof all of that out. So we'll go ahead and throw it on, slick. We're looking at 150 grams, so 150 grams. I did put all the battery, the frames that were provided, or it was supplied with, I went ahead and attached the battery pad. So that's just negative weight, because there's a couple of frames that didn't have that on there. So those are the 8 frames assembled. And right now I'm going to open up the punch. So let's get this thing going. Slice my finger off. Thought it came in some pretty clever packaging here. Dump it out. Let's move this away. Some stickers, you get a little sticker pack. That's pretty cool. They look like they replicated some old school skateboard Santa Cruz stickers. That's pretty awesome. And in the packaging, standard. That's an interesting strap. Looks a little bit different. Let me pop this fella open, see what it looks like. Get you guys in there up close and personal. So it's a relatively average frame. It does feel heavy. Yeah, it is like a, not nylon, what do they call that? I guess it is nylon, but it does feel pretty durable. That link right there does feel strong. I'll be curious to see how this holds up. It's not Kevlar, but it is certainly beefier than your standard frame or standard battery straps that were provided with some of the other frames, which I'm super disappointed about. But I said I would be objective, and I'm gonna be. So some frame components in the bag there. Some TPU. I'm gonna do like I did with the other frames. I'm gonna go ahead and start throwing items, not the Allen key, throwing items onto the scale. Let's move this fella over here, make sure it is in frame. So TPU, looks like some camera mounts. Let's bust this bag open. It's got all the goods. Quickly talk about this. You all can see that. Some really nice CNC work there. It's got the pirate emblem etched into there. That's pretty slick. That's clean. I do like that. Chamfered edges like everybody else or most of the other frames. They did put in the press nuts. I love you. Thanks for doing that. Your customers will really like the fact that you put those in there. It's worth it. This does have chamfering, or it's at least sanded. Doesn't look chamfered, it just is sanded. But again, nice piece. Boy, this one looks complicated too. I'll be a minute. Some countersunk holes there on that piece. Chamfered, really clean. Yep, looks good, looks good. I'm gonna throw a lot of these other pieces on there. We'll break open the arms because we wanna look at that. Get rid of that. The arms look good. They're pretty clean, straightforward. They do look beefy. That's probably a 5.5 mil if I had to guess. I could probably look up the specifications online. I did not. Apologize in advance. That's a guess, but I'm sure it's fairly accurate guess. And then the hardware, that's pretty sexy. It's bronze. I don't know if you all can tell there. I'm gonna cut that open. That looks pretty cool. I like that bronze color. Always wanted some bronze color rims on my car. That or gunmetal. Anything related to guns I dig. Yeah, look at that. It's a lightweight aluminum part, but it's bronze. Woo! That's pretty slick. Those look good. Bronze standoffs. Those actually feel pretty heavy. I don't have my magnets here, but I imagine those are aluminum. And then all your steel hardware with some countersinks. I'm gonna throw it all on here because that's what I did for all the other frames. Yeehaw. And we are coming in at 169 grams. So in this episode, I'm gonna assemble these two frames just to keep it short and sweet because this will be the last frame, dry frame or slick frame episode I have. And then I'm gonna go straight into ripping and bashing these things so we can get some action on because I'm pretty bored just weighing these lightweight frames or empty frames. So that's the Pirate. Looks good. If you all recall, no, that was a different frame. That was the Syncmode that came in like super fast from the UK. Shipping, I think the Pirate frames are maybe coming out of the West Coast, the Pacific West Coast. I'm not sure 100%. I should have looked. I don't have the shipping label or packaging anymore. But regardless, they did take a little bit of extra time to get here. The 533 also took a little bit of extra time to get here, but I mean, I'm not like, I don't care. It's not like I'm in a desperate need of the frames. I figure like a week is average. By the time you place your order and then it gets in the mail and it shows up at your house, like everybody's probably about a week. Like I said, a handful of the vendors did get them here in like 2 or 3 days. 1 or 3 days. One came from the UK. That was the fastest. Okay, 533. Standard packaging. They did the melted plastic or heat plastic, sealed up. and then some general TPU parts. I hope I'm getting all this. They did give the option to purchase a TPU camera mount, which I thought that was pretty slick. So 10 bucks got me a nicely clean printed TPU mount for my Action 2 camera. That was pretty awesome. 10 bucks, that's worth it. I do print all my own TPU parts to save money. So, but the purposes of this, it was offered, I bought it. Same thing with the oily rig, I bought the TPU that was offered. Getting into the arms, those look like they're probably 6 mil. And I see a seam in the center there. I don't know if you all can tell that. I think that's pretty interesting. It's where they glued the layers together. And there's looks like it was probably 2 3 mil pieces epoxy together. Man, I hope that's not the case. Because if it is, those arms are coming apart quick. Let's see if that's just that arm. No, it's every arm. Still, no chamfering, but they have been sanded. They're smooth, they're clean. CNC work looks good. That frame, or that arm also had that piece. Yep, this one also has it. So it looks like they went ahead. Yeah, they did, because, yeah, that's super weird. I don't know why. It's almost looked like they glued 2 3 millimeter pieces together. I know all of the layers are glued together, but that's it's evident. I didn't see that in all the other frames. But anyway, they look good. They feel strong. They look good. They feel strong. Let's see if they hold up in combat. They better. Not sure what that piece is. Probably a back plate, if I had to guess, or a front plate. Maybe that's a front plate. Yeah, front camera plate. Looks good. Press nuts, love it. So they did the press nuts as well. Those look like steel. I know that there are a couple of frames that opted for aluminum press nuts. That's a huge no-go. So I'm curious to see how that shakes out long term. Steel press nuts definitely hold up, but they also fail quickly when you're bashing pretty hard. But they're better than aluminum, that's for sure. Top plate and bottom plate looks like no chamfering, but they have been sanded, so they're clean, they're smooth. CNC work looks good. Carbon looks good. Some nice pieces. And I think old 533, it's a pretty small business there relative to like some of these other companies. So it's pretty cool to see a racer, a pro racer, like kind of like Vanover, getting their products out there to the masses, people that want to rip. The website's really good. I didn't buy my frame. Actually, I did buy it from Vanover's frame, but 533, I went on there and was able to get this frame from that website, 533's website, and they also had all their other frames on there, really clean. So you got a lot of options for race frames. But lightweight aluminum camera plates for the front, and then all your standard hardware, it looks like regular steel hardware, no big deal. Aluminum standoffs, yep, all aluminum, that's steel, and then it looks like a couple of like other mounting plates, and we'll throw that on there. So we're looking at 154 grams, so 154 unassembled on the scale. All right, give me a sec, I'm gonna bolt these up and I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Hey, so I just assembled the Pirate Punch and the 533 flip switch. So we're gonna go ahead and I'll talk about each like I did with the other frames. Difficulty level, minimal. I'm gonna go ahead and rank these up there. Definitely not on par with Valador in terms of complexity, but certainly like a number 7 or 8. And I guess I did it backwards. Maybe it should be like number 1 most difficult. I said 10 because like it is a number 10 in complexity or difficulty to put together. At any rate, some of these frame manufacturers I think are like challenging each other for most difficult and crazy funky designs, and like how can we put this thing together? But they're still really pretty frames. They look good. I am certain that they fly well. So I'm going to start off with the Pirate Punch. Y'all can see it here. I assembled it. It's pretty lightweight. Both frames between the 50, I won't get into that one. This thing, it probably took me about 10 minutes, 10 maybe 15. Again, I'm assembling with no instructions. I'm just going off of what I see. I will go back prior to doing final assembly, and I will review the instructions just to make sure they're 100% accurately put together, so that I get the top performance out of it. So no one can gripe and say like, "Oh, hey man, you didn't freaking do." I'm gonna do it. So know that all 10 of these frames, I'll go back through with the instructions, and I will make sure that they are 100% accurate per the manufacturer's specifications. Said that already. Now I've said it like 15 times. So you got it. Punch. They went from your traditional like 1.5, 2 mil hex to a Torx bit. And I'm gonna make an assumption and say they went to Torx because the bolts, as you can see right there, appear to be a little bit more beefy. The Torx also offers a little bit more grip, and you have less, again, this is an assumption, that you have a little bit less opportunity of stripping them out like your standard hex. So that's a great idea. However, I didn't have one on hand. They do provide it. They give you one, which is cool. But I like to use things with handles so I can grip it. Didn't matter, still went together quickly. No issues, really pretty frame, looks good. Like I said prior, the bronze looks dope. I'm digging it. Let's go ahead and put it on there. Oh, I will say the battery pads, those are going away pretty quick. It's got the 15-pound 3M gray tape on there, stuck to rubber. A little bit tedious to get on, not too painful, but they will certainly be going away quick. Let's turn our scale on. Handy dandy scale. We are at 140 grams, so 140 grams for the Pirate Punch. Super light. That's definitely in contention with one of the lighter frames. Really cool design. I like it. On to the next. The 533 flip switch. This one was obscenely challenging to put together. They also did a couple of things a little bit unorthodox from what I typically see. Yeah, you'll be able to tell here, but your press nuts, again, Evan, I'm certain, knows what he is doing, but it does create some challenges when you're trying to tighten everything down. But you have your press nuts, and then you have your standoff, which goes on top of your press nut, and then it's threaded through like this. Typically, you would take a wrench to that, hold that thing in place, and then tighten it down. I didn't want to gnarl it up, but for the final fly off, I will do that. I will crank each one down on top of the press nut to make sure it's fitted properly. But if someone who did not know how to do that tightly, it would definitely confuse them, and they would be playing a lot back and forth with the bolt to get it to sink into place properly. A little bit of a weird design. Again, one of those like overly complex. Super cool. It looks cool, and I think that's probably the goal, is like all these manufacturers and these pro pilots are trying to get after something that's like a little bit different, because I think Bog Grinder said it before in one of his videos, like, how different can you make your frame, a 5-inch frame? Like, everybody's just like recreating the wheel, right? But it is a pretty frame. It went together pretty easily. This would probably be like number 9 in terms of most challenging to assemble, or number 2, depending on how you want to rack it. But I was able to quickly get it together without the instructions, no big deal. I do have some concerns. I don't know if this frame was originally designed for bashing. It's listed as a freestyle frame. At any rate, 120, so 120 grams, 120 grams, super lightweight. Still a cool frame. I like it a lot, and I think that's probably the goal, was to go after lightweight, because you can see the top and bottom plates look like 2.5 mil. This is probably a little bit more for like your field flying, flipping around trees and stuff, not your concrete bashing that I plan to do with these frames, but we're gonna figure it out anyway. So that wraps it up. Those are the 10 frames. I'm gonna pull these out, just start throwing them in here, get my scale out of the way. Be sure to go check out Fly Tribe, they dope. And if you would, please go ahead and drop in the comments which frames you wanna see compete head to head, and then I will go ahead and decide, based on your comments, how we want to rack and stack and battle them out. I know people probably have their own ideas and concepts of what they want to see, who they want to see fight. Good Lord, 10 frames. I'll also, if you're still hanging around, you're going to get the good news. My goal, or my plan, is at the end of all this, when we're done here, bashing and destroying and doing all the things, I'm gonna donate all of these frames to you. So one lucky winner, back that up, 10 lucky winners. So I'm gonna give away 10 frames at the end of this. I'm gonna send them to you broken. I'm a cheap butt. But I'm not gonna buy a spare parts. If you get the Apex, however, I'm gonna keep that. So maybe 9. Nah, I'm gonna keep the Apex. But 10 frame giveaway. I'm not keeping the Apex, I'll give it away. 10 frame giveaway. Whoever wins, I'm gonna do like the little freaking spinning wheel Joker thing, but that's it. I appreciate everybody. Thanks for sticking around. We're getting dirty. We're getting grimy now. We're gonna send it. So thank you. Go check out Fly Tribe. It's a great this is a great addition. That's it. Thanks for watching.